Hey guys, Double Wide 6, and today I'm working on an interesting project. I am running out of room in my toolbox, and I'm trying to make a little area where I can store all my cordless tools and ratchets and drills and things like that. Stay tuned guys. In this video we're going to show you how to make a storage rack for all your power tools that goes on your Harbor Freight tool cart. Here's the toolbox that I'm talking about. I've been using this for all my small engine repair. It's been working out very well. I really like it. And I've been keeping pretty busy here with equipment coming in. And what I'd like to do, I have one spot on here where I can hang a tool. I added this little thing here. I have a video on some of the modifications that I made to this Harbor Freight tool cart, and I did that. But the problem is I have a bunch of other tools, and I'd like to get them mounted up here above this handle, hopefully so that I'm still able to shut the lid if I need to, because every once in a while I shut the lid on this thing and I work on the top of it once in a while. So let me show you these tools. This is kind of my arsenal and sort of what I have, and I just want to try and get some storage for these. So I was thinking that I'd try and weld something up and get it attached to that, and I want to also keep it removable so I can take it off if I want to. So for this project I'm going to be using my new saw. This thing is an Evolution 380. And it's a metal cutting chop saw, and it's cold cutting, so there's no abrasive dust, and it should last, I think, like 20 times longer than an abrasive disc. So I already squared up the end. You can see it's nice and shiny, it's cold to the touch, and there's not any burrs. So I'm trying to make a cut at 4.5. I just want to make a little pipe that can hold my ratchet. So I'll put that in there. Should be good. And we'll try the saw out. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to make 2 of these right away. Next step, what I want to do is I'm just going to run this on the wire brush and shine it up. This is aluminum, so it should shine pretty well like where I cut it. Okay, so the plan with these guys is going to be just to put one rivet right in the top. That should hold this thing nice and stable. So the idea with these cups is when I'm done using a tool, I can drop it right in there, or like a drill or something, and it should hold it. If I wanted to, I could hold pens in here. So they'll just be in the box. I can still close the lid. They're not in the way of anything. For the actual rack, I'm going to be using some pretty heavy gauge galvanized steel. Looks like it's about 3/16 of an inch. So we'll try this. I like this vise. It kind of has this like quick slide motion. So you can push it right in like this, and then you can lock it as needed. So I'm just going to start by squaring the end of this. Let's see how this does with the steel. Looks good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And I like that it's not hot. I've decided to keep this pipe. It's going to get mounted here like this. So we'll make it the same length as the handle that's already on the cart. The handle on the toolbox has caps on the end, something like that. And I got some scrap, looks like about 14 gauge here. So I'm thinking I can cut this and we'll attach this here. They give you this little fixture that slips on the vise, which is really nice for holding pipe. But we'll take that off so we have a flat vise jaw. And we'll put this in. And we'll cut it. Now, as far as orienting material, I could lay it flat. It would be pretty hard to clamp this because it's very thin. But this saw does best if you could position the material so that the blade doesn't get hot. So, you know, this is very thin wall and the blade will be cooling as it goes around. So by orienting it this way, that's the way to prolong the blades on these type of saws. Okay, I'm just going to tack this on here. So, holding it like this. I realize the sun's kind of not helping today here. But that's the way it is. So, I want to get this tacked and then I'll sand away the corners. Maybe I'll line it up like that. I'm just cleaning up these welds now. I'm going to hit them with the grinder. This is actually a new tool. I got the M18 cordless grinder, and it really goes hand in hand with welding. So as I got a welder, I started getting, you know, new tools to help the welding projects move along a little quicker. I like this because it has plenty of power. I was thinking I might, you know, I'm used to using a corded grinder, but this one works quite well. So I'm very happy with it. I'm gonna grind and clean up a little bit of this. I got one end done, very happy with it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, I happen to have this pipe that'll hold the drill, I believe. So I'm going to cut this. This was cut with a grinder, and you can see how bad that cut was. So I'm going to square it up here. So what I need to do, I got a scrap piece of our pipe, and I'm gonna put this on here, and I'm gonna mark it because I have to grind away some material. Just sort of eyeballing it. Okay. Plan is to try and grind this away. So at this point I have the pipe all marked up, and what I'd like to do is drill holes all the way through it, and then the other side that it comes out is actually the top. Now I'm just cutting some scrap metal to support this. What I decided is I'm going to mount this right on here like that. So I have two of these that I need to bend. I'll show you how I bent it. I decided to shorten the brackets a little before I weld them up, so I got them both stacked and even. Now I'm going to make my cut. I have it clamped onto the cart and it's looking good. I think what I want to do is go ahead and paint it. I was going to weld this on here, but I decided to get the best look, we'll bolt it right on. That way I can paint it red to match. And we should be good to go. I'm happy it fits the tools with bits and without. Alright guys, it's later in the afternoon. I got the project finished up, and I just wanted to stop back at this saw because this is the first project that I used the saw for, and it worked fantastic. I didn't have any issues with it, except for the fact that it does tend to throw chips all over the place. So it's not like an abrasive wheel where you get fine dust in the air and particulate. You know, it's more of like chips, like from really like a joiner or planer, or a drill press or a milling machine, those types of chips. So as you can see, there is a fair amount of debris. And I believe, yeah, this thing has a tray, so it catches some of the chips, but not all of them. So I'll keep you in tune with you know, the next project I do with this saw. I think it's going to be, you know, really helpful in the shop. And here's a look at the rack I made. So first of all, we put in these cups, and I set that up to hold like pens and ratchets. So little 1/4-inch ratchets. And this cup is actually for the ratchet, which is right here. So if I want to, I can drop that in there like that. Or if it doesn't have a socket on it, put this one back here, it can go in head first like that. This area in here where there aren't any sockets ends up getting like cluttered up and full of all kinds of tools that I just set in here and set in there. And what I'm trying to do is get a little bit more organized, and I really needed a place for these. Here's how the drills are stored, so that fits in there like that. And if I have a bit on the drill, I left a hole going all the way through here so I can put it in there with a drill bit if needed, like this one. You can see there's a bit on there, and that'll fit in there and hold nicely. I drilled out these holes so that like you can store these impacts, you know, with a tool on them. Like this one has a socket on there. This one, as I said, has nothing, but you can just drop it in the hole. That's why the hole's so big, and that'll hold and be real secure. So yeah, I'm real happy with this thing. I also figured out that I could store this ratchet up in here, and usually, you know, when I'm dealing with the ratchet, I have like a socket on there. So if I want to just drop it in any one of these holes, I can keep that right there. That works real well. Down here on the bottom, I have this little clip. I keep my 1/2-inch impact there because it's really heavy. But the 1/2-inch impact, if I'm using it, it's a little bit cumbersome to flip it upside down and hang it, but this will fit right on here, and the anvil just locks in like that, which is great. And one other thing is, you know, if I'm not using a drill, if I'm using a grinder or something like this, this handle will fit right in there, and that'll hold that in place. So it's really nice having all my tools right at my fingertips where I have access and know where they are, and when I clean up, now I know where they go. So that should help keep me a little more organized. Yeah, so I think this is a good project, and it did take a little time to make, but I think it's, I don't think that will come off this toolbox, you know, in my lifetime. So I'm planning on keeping it there. Alright guys, I'm Double Wide 6. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, you can post them down where the comments are, and I'll also include some links to the products used in today's video. Thanks for watching guys, and have a great day.